She was laying on the ground on her back, obviously deceased.
There was thousands of insect bites all over her.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Crime Lab, the place where you find the truth about crime stories. In this video, we're going to talk about an astounding true story about an ordinary adolescent named Ashley Reeves, aged 17, whose life flipped upside down in the early summer of 2006. The story is a shocking true story, but more than that, it is the story of a strong and resilient girl who fought till the end and never gave up. Let me warn you, this is a case of extreme violence and near-death experience. It will surely keep you on the edge of your seat. Stay tuned and please subscribe. Ashley Reeves, a 17-year-old simple girl from the Illinois village of Millstadt, was a Columbia High School junior in 2006 with a steady boyfriend named Jeremy Smith. They were very close and serious about each other after being together for 2 years. Even though Ashley did well in school, she couldn't wait to graduate the following year. Her world revolved around her parents, sister, and friends, who were constants in her life. She was living a normal life, studying and having fun just like any other teenager would be doing. Ashley left her family's home at 3:30 p.m. on April 27 for a job interview in a nearby city, telling her parents she would play basketball afterward and would return back by 10 p.m. However, as the evening progressed, Ashley was nowhere to be found. Her parents wasted no time reporting her missing after she didn't answer any calls or texts, which was atypical of her. With the passing of time, the car she was driving was observed abandoned in Belleville's Lateran Park. Ashley's mother was very worried about her whereabouts, as she doesn't usually go missing without informing anyone. So she removed the phone call details of Ashley from the mobile company in order to see if some evidence could be found there. This attempt bore fruits as it led her to Samson Shelton, 26, who claimed he had not spoken to or seen Ashley. He hung up before anyone could ask how he even knew her. Samson, a driver's ed and gym coach who had taught Ashley in middle school, was then revealed to be her older boyfriend. He also happened to live in Belleville, which was close to where the teen's car was discovered, making him the prime suspect. Samson was interrogated for about 12 hours the next morning before admitting to reconnecting with Ashley in February 2006, being close with her, and explaining what had happened. He claimed he tried to break up with his younger girlfriend, and she retaliated by kicking and screaming, but it was exactly the other way around. Seeing Samson's aggressive behavior, Ashley had broken up with him and was happy in her current relationship with Jeremy Smith. They have been a happy couple for the past 2 years and were quite serious about each other. But Samson couldn't contain that, and hence he used to mentally harass Ashley. One fine day, he called her to meet up by his house. Ashley reluctantly went there to call it quits for the last and final time, as she didn't want to hear from him ever again. But only God knew that Samson had totally different and dangerous plans. He dragged her into the trees of a park, choked her with his bare hands, and then used his belt to continue until he heard a crack.
I dragged her to a wood area. I tied this thing around her neck to make it look like someone choked her out there.
He helped authorities locate her, but 30 hours had gone by. Samson in his statement said that after an argument with Ashley, he choked her and dragged her out of his car. Ashley's neck was snapped by the hold, and she went limp. He then dragged her body into the woods and strangled her with his hands once more. He wrapped a belt around her neck and pulled until it snapped, but realized that she was still breathing. Thinking he'd successfully murdered Reeves, he celebrated by hitting the town. A video captured him lying, dancing at a local country music club that evening. In this way, he attempted to kill Ashley 3 times and failed each time. What surprised everyone was his nonchalant attitude towards the police officers. He didn't display even a bit of guilt for putting this girl in this fatal position. What he really cared about was just his own survival and how he would live in jail. During the interview, he asked one of the officers if he could get a different urinal, pillow, and bedsheet, as he can't share it with anyone. After severe interrogation, he was ready to tell police the spot where he left Ashley to die. The story doesn't end here. In the night, along with Samson showing the police officers the way, it was too dark as it was in the woods. One of the officers said, After desperately looking out for Ashley in the woods for around 2 hours, we had almost given up. We thought Samson was making up some story in order to distract us. But just when they were about to give up after going deep inside the woods, they saw Ashley's body lying on the ground. They thought she was dead.
She was laying on the ground, on her back, obviously deceased.
There was thousands of insect bites all over her.
Officers thought it was too late when they found Ashley Reeves lying on her back in the cold dirt, her hands up to her chest, her tongue sticking out, and hundreds of insect bites covering her body. Except her chest moved at that precise moment, which was observed by one of the officers, and she was transported to the hospital. The fear was that she would be paralyzed as a result of her internal injuries, so she was put into a comatose state by specialists, but thankfully, it was not the case. Ashley had to spend months in medical and rehab centers having to learn how to walk, talk, swallow, and perform daily tasks again. Reeves had no memory of the attack due to the severe brain injuries she suffered. While Reeves confirmed that she and Shelton had a fight after the breakup, she also stated that it was the only memory she has of the incident. She stated that she has no recollection of the days leading up to the attack, nor of the weeks following it. As part of a Crime Watch Daily episode in 2017, she returned to the site of her rescue with Smart. "It's difficult to believe that this is where I was for so long and in such bad shape," Reeves said. "It makes me believe that maybe I am as tough as everyone claims. I'm a fighter who wants to keep pushing myself harder and harder."
A fighter, and I just keep wanting to push myself harder and harder.
With the exception of that 2017 interview, Reeves has tried to put the whole thing behind her. "I'm glad it's over with," she said after Shelton was sentenced in 2007. "I just want to continue with my life and not worry about it." She is 32 now and lives with her family, that is her husband and 2 children, in Illinois, and serves as a caregiver in a hospital there. She now has a memory of her attack, but she doesn't want to recall it. Talking about Samson Shelton, despite his confession, he was quickly released on bail and placed under house arrest. The police responded to an attempted suicide call made from his home shortly before his trial. He consumed a potentially lethal mix of prescription medications and alcohol. Although he had a handwritten "do not resuscitate" sign on his chest, when EMT arrived to help him, he allegedly attacked them, spitting and punching them. Also, when he was in the hospital, he allegedly hurled racial slurs and caused a ruckus. As a result, a district judge questioned Samson's mental health. But it was found that after a month of medical evaluations and contentions by prosecutors that Samson was merely trying to gain empathy from the public and viable jury members, he was officially ascertained to be mentally competent to stand trial. Hence, he was convicted of attempted first-degree murder and sentenced to 20 years in prison. The worst part of this whole case is that even when given the opportunity, Samson refused to address the court or even offer an apology to his victim. As a result, he is still incarcerated at Galesburg's medium-security Hill Correctional Center at the age of 41. He will be released on parole in the spring of 2024, but his original release date was set for April 22, 2027. Isn't it painful to see how a teenager had to go through physical as well as mental torture just because she was once in love with this man and now wanted to separate from him? Along with being a tragic story, it also teaches us an important lesson of never giving up in life. Because of her sheer willpower and strength, Ashley Reeves was able to come back from the deathbed. One message which Ashley wished to give the world was, don't ever give up on yourself. There are bigger, better things out there. I've gone through plenty of hardships, and it's just keeps fighting. Every day it's a struggle, but you just gotta keep on trudging. This is quite inspiring, isn't it? How do you guys find the video? Which part was the most surprising for you? Do let us know in the comment section below. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such exciting content. See you in the next video with another new true crime story.